In my family, I'm the only one who really likes spicy food. So whenever there was a birthday or some gathering at our house, I would ask my mom to add Vlammetjes to het bittergarnituur. And that's what we'll be making today. Hi, I'm Toine and welcome to my kitchen. If you're new to this channel, I focus on cooking foods from my home country, the Netherlands, and some of its former colonies such as Indonesia. Vlammetjes are small envelopes, deep fried, filled with really spicy meat, typically beef. You can find them at a bar if you order a bittergarnituur, or you can get them at a snack bar and eat them with some fries. Let's get started. To make vlammetjes, you will need 450 grams of lean ground beef, 1 tablespoon of sambal oelek, 1 tablespoon of ketchup manis, 1 shallot, 3 cloves of garlic, 2 teaspoons of ginger, half a teaspoon of cayenne powder, half a teaspoon of ground coriander, 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour, 60 milliliters of water, and spring roll or egg roll wrappers. I prefer to use spring roll wrappers. They're thinner and a little bit more delicate. Egg roll wrappers are a little thicker and bubble up more, but I couldn't find spring roll wrappers that are flour based in the store this weekend, so I'm going with egg roll wrappers instead. You will also need some extra flour and water to make a slurry that we'll use to kind of seal the little envelope with. I have peeled my ginger and my shallots, and we're going to start by mincing the shallots. Try to make them nice and small so that you don't have big chunks of shallots in your vlammetjes. So we're making long cuts like this and then go through it. And now go across. Whew. Even shallots can make you cry a little. Yeah, they definitely can. Now that I'm done mincing the shallot, I'm going to grate the garlic right into the same bowl because this is going to get sauteed up all at the same time. I love the microplane. It makes this so easy. Your fingers will smell like garlic from doing this. But that's okay. Okay, scrape every little bit off the back. Now it's time to grate the ginger in its own bowl, because that isn't being cooked at the same time as the shallots and the garlic. If you can't find fresh ginger, you can use ground ginger as well. Just use 1 teaspoon instead of 2 teaspoons. Now we're going to make the filling. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in my non-stick skillet and heat it up over medium heat. So you can test the oil by just holding a piece of shallot in there. If it doesn't sizzle, the oil is not quite hot enough, so we're gonna let the oil heat up a little bit longer. Let's check the oil again. It's starting to bubble up when I put this in there, so we are ready to saute the the shallot and the garlic. In Dutch we would say even aanfruiten, which means to cook this until the shallot starts to become a little bit glassy. And that will happen pretty quickly, especially when you cut them this small. The reason I like doing this in a non-stick pan is because we are using really lean ground beef, but I don't want to add too much oil to the pan to cook it up, because it is a deep fried snack and no reason to add that much more oil. Okay, this is looking good. We're going to add the ground beef. Now there's a Dutch word called rullen, and I don't know what the English word for it is, but it is basically cooking up the ground beef until it's all small little individual pieces. If you do know the English word for rullen, I would love it if you can leave it in the comments below. The garlic and the shallot with the beef is already filling the kitchen with a delicious smell, and we haven't even really added any of the other flavorings and spices yet. The nice thing about this recipe is because we are cooking the beef, you are in full control of the seasoning. So once it's cooked, you can taste it and say, oh, I want it spicier, or I want to add a little bit more ketchup for a little sweetness, or maybe some salt if you don't think it is seasoned enough. Where when you make, for example, sausijzenbroodjes, that isn't cooked until the finished product is ready. So it is harder to taste for seasoning. But this time, it's pretty easy. Just cook it all up, taste it, and adjust your seasonings to your liking. This is supposed to be spicy, but everyone's spice tolerance is different. So just make it as spicy as you can handle it. I'm trying to break down the beef, again, rullen, so it turns into small little pieces of beef and not big clumps. Now that the beef is mostly cooked, we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. We're going to add the sambal oelek, generous helping, the coriander, the ketchup manis, the ginger, and the cayenne pepper. And now I'm going to stir that through here. Whew. The cayenne and the sambal, definitely you can sense when you're standing so close to the pan. Make sure you stir it thoroughly so that the seasonings and the spices are mixed through, so that every Vlammetje has the same amount of seasoning. Otherwise, one person is going to get a big surprise when they have all the cayenne powder or all of the sambal oelek in it. I'm going to add my water and the flour, which will help bind the meat so it makes a little bit better filling for the Vlammetjes. Make sure you cook it thoroughly because you don't want to taste raw flour in the finished product. You can smell the ginger, I almost said gember. You can smell the ginger and the sambal and even the garlic. So I'm going to turn down the heat and grab a spoon so that I can give it a try and see if it needs some additional seasoning. There's heat. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Just a pinch. And just stir it through. Let's check to see if that was enough salt. Big difference. Okay. We're going to put this aside, let it cool off before we start filling the Vlammetjes. I hope you're enjoying this video. If you are, please click the like and subscribe button. It will really help our channel. And if you want YouTube to notify you whenever we post a new video, click the bell. Our filling has completely cooled. I've put it in a bowl. I also have lined a cookie sheet with some parchment paper to put the Vlammetjes on as I fill them. I have my egg roll wrappers ready, and I've made a glue from about a tablespoon of flour and 2 tablespoons of water until it has this thin glue-like consistency. We're going to lay the egg roll wrapper with the point towards you, so we're going to call this south, north, west, and east. I'm going to use a tablespoon to put some meat on the wrapper. You want to put it below the line that runs from east to west or west to east. We're going to take the point at the south, fold it over the meat like this. Now we're going to take the east point, fold it over. Same for the west. Okay, push this down. Use your brush with the glue and just cover that top triangle with some of that paste. And now we roll it like that. Looks like a little envelope. You can buy these in the store in different sizes. Some of them are like this size, and some of them are even smaller. I find the really small ones just too finicky to make myself. But you can definitely use these sheets and cut them into 4 equal squares and make really small ones. It is just not what I prefer to do. And these two are kind of stuck together. So let me grab this one. Okay, let's do this again. Diamond. Spoonful of meat. Take the south corner, fold it over the meat. Take the east corner, fold it over. Take the west corner, fold it, push it all in, glue the top. And now we just roll. Okay, I'm gonna continue filling the rest of them and I'll see you when I'm done. So I've finished rolling up the Vlammetjes. It made 15 of them. Now I'm heating up oil to about 175 degrees Celsius, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's take a look if we're there. Yep, we are. It's a little over, but that's okay. Once we add the Vlammetjes in, the temperature will come down a little bit. You can, of course, also use a deep fryer. I just didn't want to make it dirty at the moment, so I'm just using a pot with a high wall and a thick bottom to fry them in. I'm using avocado oil, but any neutral oil will do. So I'm going to put the Vlammetjes in. Don't overcrowd your pot, so I'm just going to put in 3. And they will fry until they're golden brown. So I also have a spider to both take them out of the oil and let them drain, as well as to flip them to make sure that they are frying evenly. This is the color we're looking for, a nice golden brown. I have a rack here on top of paper towel that I'm going to use to drain the Vlammetjes, and it went a little bit quicker than I thought, so about 3 minutes is what these took. So I'm going to add 3 more in the oil. Just be careful when you drop them in. Our second batch is ready. Of course, you can also use the spider to lower them into the oil. I will finish frying up the rest of them, and then we'll get to my favorite part, tasting them. All the Vlammetjes are done, and now I get to try one. So first, I'm just going to try it plain. Eet Smakelijk. I love the crunch from the skin. Then the heat in the beef really comes towards the end. The cayenne peppers first, then the sambal, and the ketchup mellows it out. A typical kind of dipping sauce for this is either chili sauce, or what I like to use is a sweet spring roll sauce with it. So I'm going to give that a try. The sweetness of the sauce complements the spiciness of the filling. I hope you can see the inside. It is nicely filled with not a really thick layer of skin around it. Skin is nice and crispy. Really good. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to share it with your friends. If you have memories of eating Vlammetjes in the Netherlands, or have any questions about the recipe, please post them in the comments below. I will also post a recipe for sambal oelak and ketchup manis in my description, so that if you can't buy them locally, you can easily make them yourself. I will post a recipe to Vlammetjes on my website, toineskitchen.com, in both metric and imperial measurements, and you can find me on social media as well. If you make Vlammetjes, I would love it if you can take a photo and post it on Instagram with the hashtag ToinesKitchen. I will share it in my story and on my website. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.